you.
Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutare Shrimati Krishna Rasami Jnani Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutare Shrimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Bhachari Vishesha Shrimati Pashyata Vishkara Shri Brahma Samhita Ki Jai Ishvara Parama Krishna Sachidananda Vigraha Anadiradir Govinda Sarvakarana Karanam
Ishvara Parama Krishna Sachidananda Vigraha Anadiradir Govinda Sarvakarana Karanam.
Ishvara Parama Krishna Sachidananda Vigrahanadiradir Govinda Sarvakarana Karanam.
Ishvaraha Parama Krishna Sachidananda Vigraha Anadira Dira Govinda Sarvakarana Karanam.
The translation: Krishna, who is known as Govinda, is the supreme Godhead. He has an eternal blissful spiritual body. He is the origin of all. He has no other origin. He is the prime cause of all cause. So we go to verse 20. Verse 20. Yojayitva tu tanyeva pravivesh swayam guham pravishte tasminstu jivatma pratibudhyate. Yeah.
Yoja Yitva Tutanieva Pravivesha Swayam Guham Pravishte Tasminstu Jivatma Pratibudhyate.
Yujayitva Tutanyeva Pravivesha Swayam Guham Pravishte Tasminstu Jivatma Pratibudhyate.
Yojavitva tu taniyeva pravivisa swayam goham praviste tasmintu jivatma pratibhudyate.
Would you like to read the translation, Prabhu?
Yeah, why? Oh, yes, Sitaram Prabhu, yes.
Translation.
Wow.
By conglomerating all the separate entities, he manifested the innumerable mundane universes and himself entered into the inmost recess of every extended conglomerate, Virad Vigraha. At the time, those jivas who had lain dormant during the Kalaklisma were awakened. Hare Krishna.
Text 21. Sanityo nitya sambandha prakritischa paraivasa.
Nitya Sambandha Prakritischa Paraivasa.
Sanityo Nitya Sambandha Prakritischa Paraivasa.
Sanitya nitya sambandha prakritischa paraiva saha.
You like to read the translation, Mataji?
The same Jiva is eternal and is for eternity, without a beginning, joined to the Supreme Lord by the tie of eternal kingship. He is transcendental spiritual potency.
Text 22. Evam sarvatma sambandham nabhyam padmam harer abhut tatra brahma bhavat भूयाश्चतुर्वेदी चतुर्मुखः
एवं सर्वात्मा सम्बन्धं नाभ्यं पद्मं हरेरभूत् तत्र ब्रह्म भवेत् भूयास् चतुर्वेदी चतुर्मुखः
Evam sarvatma sambandham navyam padmam hare tatra brahma bhavat bhuyas chaturvedi chaturmukha.
एवं सत्वात्मा संबंधम नाभ्यं पदम हरेर अद्भुत तत्र ब्रह्मा भावत भूयस चतुर्वेदी चतुर्मुखः
Abhi Prabhu, will you write?
Yeah,
You read the
the,
translation?
yeah, the divine lotus, which springs from the navel pit of Vishnu, is in every way related by the spiritual tie with all souls and is the origin of the four-faced Brahma versed in the four Vedas.
Thank you. Text 23. Sanjato bhagavat chakya tatkalam kila chodita sistrikshayam matim chakre purva sanskar sanskritah dadarsha kevalam dhwantam nanyat kim api sarvatah.
Sanjato bhagavat chaktya tatkallam kila chodita shishkrashyam matir chakre purva samskara samkrita dadarsha kevalam dhyantvam dantam nantyat kim api sarvatah.
Sanjato bhagavat chaktya tatkalam kila kodita sishrikshyam matim chakre purva samskara samskritaha tadasha kevalam dvantam nanyat kim api sarvata.
संजतो भगवत् चक्त्या तत्कालं किल चोदितः श्रीशायं मतिं चक्रे पूर्व संस्कार संस्कृतः ददर्श केवलं धात्वन्तं नन्यत् किम् अपि सर्वतः. हरे कृष्ण.
संजातो भगवच्चक्त्या तत्कालं किल चोदिता शिशिक्षायां मतिं चक्रे पूर्व संस्कारसंस्कृता ददर्श केवलं ध्वान्तं नान्यत् किमपि सर्वतः.
Can you read the translation, Chitra?
On coming out of the lotus, Brahma, being guided by the divine potency, turned his mind to the act of creation under the impulse of previous impressions, but he could see nothing but darkness in every direction.
Thank you. Text 24. Uvacha purutastasmai tasya divya saraswati kama krishnaya govinda he gopi jana ityapi vallabhaya priyavahe mantram te dasyati priyam.
Vacha puratas tasmai tasya divya saraswati kama krishna govinda he gopi jana ityapi valabhya priyavane mantram te dasyati priyam.
Uvacha purvatastasmai tasya divya saraswati kama krishnaya govinda he gopi janayati api valabhaya priyavane mantram te dashyati priyam.
उवाच पुरात तस्मै तस्य दिव्य सरस्वती कामकृष्णाय गोविन्द हे गोपी जन इति अपि Vallabhaya priya vahane mantram te dasyati priyam.
Uvacha puratastasmai tasya divya saraswati Kamakrishnaya Govinda He Gopi Jana Ityapi Vallabhaya Priyavanir Mantram Te Dashyati Priyam.
Sitaram Prabhu, would you like to read the translation?
Then the goddess of learning, Saraswati, the divine consort of the Supreme Lord, said thus to Brahma, who saw nothing but gloom in all directions. O Brahma, this mantra, Klim Krishnaya, Govindaya Gopijana Balabha, Swaha, will assuredly fulfill your heart's desire. Hare Krishna.
Hare.
Text 25. Tapasvam tapa etena tava siddhir bhavishyati.
Tapasvam tapa etena tava siddhir bhavishyati.
Tapasvam tapat etena tava siddhir bhavishyati.
Tapastvam tapa etena tava siddhir bhavisyati.
Tapastvam tapa etena tava siddhir bhavishyati.
Shanti Mataji, would you like to read the translation?
O Brahma, do thou practice spiritual association by means of this mantra, and all your desires will be fulfilled.
Okay, so we go to text 26. Last time we learned the first part, so now we move to the other parts if you have time. So text 26. Atha te pesa suchiram Rinan Govindam Avyayam Shweta Dvipa Patim Krishnam Golokastham Paratparam.
Tepe sachuchiram Prinan Govindam Vyayam Shvetadipapatem Krishnam Govindastam Param.
Atate pesa suchiram Prenam Govindam Avyayam Svetadvipa Patim Krishnam Golokastam Parat Param.
Atha te pesa suchiram Krinan Govindam Avyayam Shvetadvipapatim Krishnam Golokastham Paratparam.
So the second part. Prakritya Rupinya Paryupashitam Sahasradala Sampanne Koti Kinjalka Bhrimhite Prakritya Guna Rupinya Paryupasitam Sahasra Dala Sampanne Koti Kinjalkam Bhrimhite Prakritya Rupinya Paryupasitam Sahasradala Sampanne Koti Kinjalka Bhrimhite Prakritya Rupinya रूपिण्या पर्युपासितं सहस्रदलसम्पन्ने कोटिकिञ्जल्कबृंहिते. Yes.
Prakritya guna rupinya paryupasitam sahasradala sampanne koti kinchalka brim hite.
Prakritya guna rupinya paripasitam sahasradala sampane koti kinjalka primhate.
Prakritya guna. Something went wrong.
We can hear you.
Yes, Prabhu. Something wrong.
Oh, you can't see, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
Prakritya guna supinya rupinya pasitam sahasradala sampane koti kinjalka brimite.
Prakritya guna rupinya parupasitam sahasradala sampanne koti kinjalkam brimhite.
Next part. भूमिश्चिन्तामणिस्तत्र कर्णिकारे महासने समासीनं चिदानन्दं ज्योतिरूपं सनातनं. भूमिश् चिन्तामणिस्तत्र कर्णिकारे
We might have lost you. Can you hear us, Karuna?
From Sahara side.
Karuna, can you hear us? Ah, okay, we lost her. Let me just do the pause. Oh,
I
yeah.
try to share again.
Yes. Good. We can see it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Here.
Yeah.
भूमिश्चिन्तामणिस्तत्र कर्णिकारे महासने समासीनं चिदानन्दं ज्योतिरूपं सनातनम्. Yes.
Bhumischintam manistatra karnikare mahasane sane samasinam chid anandam jyoti rupam sanatanam.
Bhumischintamaniस्तत्र कर्णिकारे महासने समासीनं चिदानन्दं ज्योतिरूपं सनातनम्.
Bhumischintaman tatra karkare mahasane samasinam chit anartam jyoti rupam sanatanam. It's too small, these lines, Mataji.
Okay, I'll try to put it little bit.
Yes.
Bhumischintamaniस्तत्र कर्णिकारे महासने Samasinam Chidanandam Jyotirupam Sanatanam.
So the last part of this verse. Shabda Brahma Mayam Venu Vadayantam Mukham Bhuje Vilasini Gana Vritam Swai Swai Swair Am Shair Abhishtutam. So the verse Shabda Shabda Brahma Brahma Mayam Shabda Brahma Mayam Venum Venum Vadayantam Vadayantam Mukham Bhuje Mukham Bhuje Vilasini Vilasini Gana Gana Vritam Vritam Swair 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 Amshair Amshair Abhishtutam Abhishtutam Shabda Brahmamayam Venu Vadayantam Mukham Bhuje Vilasini Gana Vritam Swair Swair Amshair Abhishtutam.
Sabda Brahma Mayam Venum Vadayantam Mukham Bhujai Vilasini Gana Vrittam Swene Amshe Abish Tutam.
Shabda Brahmamayam Venum Vadayantam Mukham Bhuje Vilasini Ganavritam Sweshwer Amsher Abhistutam.
Sabda Brahmamayam Venam Padayantam Mukham Bhuje Vilasina Vritam Swaswair Amsair Abhistutam.
Shabda Brahma Mayam Venum Vadayantam Mukham Bhuje Vilasini Ganavritam Swair Amshair Abhushtutam.
So the synonyms Athaha then Tepe practice austerity Sa He Brahma Suchiram for a long time Prinan satisfying Govindam Govinda Avyayam imperishable Shwetadvipa Patim the Lord of Shwetadvip Krishnam Krishna Golokastham situated in Goloka Paratparam the greatest of all Prakritya by the external energy Guna Rupinya embodying all mundane qualities Rupinya possessing form Paryupasitam worship from outside Sahasra Dala Sampanne on a lotus of 1,000 petals Koti Kinjalka by millions of filaments Brahmipe augmented Bhumi the land Chintamani magical touchstone Tatra there Karnikari on the wall Maha Asani on a great throne Samasinam seated Chit Anandam the form of transcendental bliss Jyoti Rupam the form of effulgence Sanatanam eternal Shabda Brahma divine sound Mayam comprising Venum the flute Vadayantam playing Mukha Ambuje at his lotus mouth Vilasini Gana by the gopis Vritam surrounded Sweh Sweh own respective Amshay by subjective portions Abhishtutam worship. So the translation, Brahma being desirous of satisfying Govinda, practiced the cultural acts for Krishna in Goloka, Lord of Shweta for a long time. His meditation renders there exists a divine lotus of 1,000 petals, augmented by millions of filaments, in the transcendental land of Goloka, and its wall there exists a great divine throne on which is seated Sri Krishna, the form of eternal effulgence of transcendental bliss. Playing on his divine flute resonate with the divine sound with his lotus mouth. He is worshipped by his amorous milkmaids with their respective subjective portions and extensions, and also by his external energy, who stays outside, embodying all mundane qualities. So the purport. Although the object of meditation is fully transcendental, yet owing to her nature which is permeated with the quality of active mundane hankering, Maya, the non-spiritual potency of Krishna, embodying the principles of mixed sattva, rajas and tamas in the forms of Durga and other non-spiritual powers, meditated on the Supreme Lord Krishna as the object of their worship. So long as there is any trace of mundane desire in one's heart, it is the object of worship of Maya Devi, Durga, who has to be worshipped by such a person. Nevertheless, the fulfillment of one's heart's desire results from the worship of the object of worship of Maya Devi, and not from the worship of Maya Devi herself. This is in accordance with the shlok. Akama sarva kamo va moksha kama udaradi trivrena bhakti yogena yajeta purusham param. Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 2, Chapter 3, Text 10. The meaning of this shlok of the Bhagavatam is that though other gods, as distinct manifestations of the Supreme Lord, or bestowers of the sundry specific boons, yet a sensible person should worship the all-powerful Supreme Lord, giver of all good, with unalloyed devotion, without worshipping those mundane gift-giving deities. Accordingly, Brahma meditated upon Krishna in Goloka, the object of the worship, from a distance of Mayadi. True devotion is unalloyed devotional activity, free from all mundane desire. The devotion of Brahma, etc., is not unmixed devotion. But there is a stage of unmixed predilection even in devotion for the attainment of one's selfish desire. This has been fully described in the concluding 5 shlokas of this work. That is the easiest method of divine service prior to the attainment of self-realization by fallen souls. So this was the purport for text 26.
Wow. Not sure if I got any of that. This is Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati, isn't it? It's he's got this incredible style of English, which is hard to comprehend sometimes. But this point here is about. Sorry.
It's as if you have to read word by word and try to get the meaning of each and then connect them.
Yeah. This point about one's heart desire results from the worship of the object of worship of Maya Devi, which is very interesting, that it's not Maya Devi who gives the result. It's actually the who she worships, and that's Krishna. So that's very interesting how Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati phrases that. And this verse is really phenomenal. Akama, sarvakama, mokshakama. Whether you have no desires, you have lots of desires, or you want liberation, just worship Krishna. Don't go anywhere else. Don't go to the devatas. Just worship Krishna. So it's funny, we just covered that today. And the example, there was 2 examples. One was Dhruv Maharaj. He worshipped Narayan, and his desire was he wanted a kingdom greater than his grandfather's. And when Lord Narayan appeared before him, he said, okay, that's all right. I don't want anything. I realized that what I was looking for was
Broken glass.
some broken glass, piece of broken glass, but what I found are diamonds. So I don't need anything. And then there was the worship of, what's his name? Vikasura of Lord Shiva. He worships the demigod Lord Shiva for a boon that anybody he touches the head of should die immediately. And yes, Shiva grants that wish, and he's after Shiva to kill him. So this is the mood of the worshipper. And it's also the blessing of the Lord, that if we worship Krishna for anything, he will purify that desire, whether it's akarma, sarvakarma, moksha karma. Whereas others will not. They will just grant the wish and we go to hell because we want rubbish. So, thank you for sharing that. Karuna, anything you'd like to share?
Very difficult to understand these. Yeah, but in your association, it's really wonderful. We are going through all these and trying to understand. It's really wonderful.
It's a Lord's Guru Maharaj's blessing that we are somehow put together. Yeah, it's good. It's good. Thank you so much for taking us through the Brahma Samhita. Very good. Okay, so
Brahma Samhita ki jai.
Jai.